Gauchos! Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the first episode of UCSB TV for Spring Quarter. We are your source for information about on-campus events, Gauchosports, and local news. With midterms just around the corner, be sure to take a quick study break by attending one of the many great events this campus has to offer. Let's go to Megan to hear some more.
Hey Gauchos, I'm Megan with this week's on-campus events. Tomorrow, May 1st, head to Corwin Pavilion for the Community Affairs Board's Book Fair. From 3:30 to 6:30, the Community Affairs Board will provide snacks, crafts, books, and parking for an entrance fee of $10. Children's free entrance vouchers are available for reservation. Email the Community Affairs Board for more information. Also tomorrow, fiction and history writer Marina Warner will give a talk, Sanctuary in Literature, Words on the Move. In this talk, she will explore the potential power of literature in response to the present refugee crisis. Millions of people are being driven from their homes by war, religious conflict, famine, and poverty. Can literature help? Head to the McCune Conference Room tomorrow at 4 p.m. to find out. UCSB alum and assistant professor at the University of Toronto, Neda Magdouleh, will discuss and sign copies of her new book, The Limits of Whiteness: Iranian Americans and the Everyday Politics of Race, tomorrow at the Multicultural Center Lounge. Her book discusses the hidden history of anti-Iranian racism. Visit the Multicultural Center Lounge tomorrow at 6 p.m. for her talk. This Wednesday, May 2nd, head to the MCC Theater for a screening of Disney's Coco. The Chicano Latino Resource Center will hold a post-screening discussion of the film. The screening begins at 6 p.m. Wednesday at 3:30, University of Chicago's Professor of Music Theory, Dr. Lawrence M. Bukowski, will present a talk entitled Ghost in the Machine: Musical Grammar and Musical Agency. His talk is part of the Music History and Theory Forum taking place this Wednesday in Music Room 1145. Wednesday evening, Pollock Theater will hold a screening of The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. The film is one of the best-known films that uses a silhouette animation technique in which cutout figures come to life through the manipulation of light. Novelist, critic, and cultural historian Marina Warner will join moderator Peter Bloom for a post-screening discussion. Thursday, May 3rd, UC Berkeley's architecture chairholder, Ronald Rail, comes to UCSB for a talk, Border Wall as Architecture. In his talk, Rail will discuss his book, Border Wall as Architecture, a manifesto for the U.S.-Mexico boundary. In his text, he advocates for a reconsideration of the existing barrier that divides the U.S. and Mexico. He offers design proposals that are hyperboles of actual scenarios that have occurred as a consequence of the wall. Head to the McCune Conference Room this Thursday at 4 o'clock for this talk. Also this Thursday, head to Pollock Theater for a discussion about the serious future of video game play. Executive producer of Riot Games' North American League of Legends Championship Series, Dave Stewart, will join Film and Media Studies' Alex Chaplin to examine the global phenomenon of esports. The event is free, but a reservation is recommended to guarantee a seat. The discussion will begin at 7 p.m. The Multicultural Center hosts a quarterly open mic for everyone and anyone to artistically express themselves through any and all creative outlets, including spoken word, poetry, hip-hop, and dance. This quarter's open mic will be emceed by Abraham Lizama, an anti-colonial artivist and scholar who uses performance and direct action to shed light on marginalized communities, to dismantle systems of oppression, and to create new identities and ways of being. The event, entitled An Evening of Self-Expression, will take place this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. at the Bico Garage in Isla Vista. Author of Pulitzer Prize-winning novel All the Light We Cannot See, Anthony Durr, comes to UCSB this Thursday for a conversation with writer and physician Pico Iyer as part of UCSB's Speaking with Pico series. Durr is lauded for his lyricism and empathetic engagement with humanity's largest questions. Head to Campbell Hall this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. for this discussion on his novel. Finally, Friday, May 4th, head to the MCC Theater for solo theater work, The Wong Street Journal. Written and performed by performance artist and comedian Christina Wong, The Wong Street Journal breaks down the complexities of global poverty, privilege, and economic theory. Part plushy TED lecture, part amateur hip-hop extravaganza, and part travelogue, Wong tells the story of how she became a hip-hop star in northern Uganda. Tickets are $5 for UCSB students and $15 for the general public, and the performance begins at 7:30 p.m. That's all for this week's events. If you want more information on any of these events, then head to the UCSB events page. Now to Celie with this week's weekly news update.
Hi Gauchos, let's take a look at this week's local news. The Associated Students elections results were announced Thursday night. The Isla Vista Party dominated the running but failed to win the presidency seat. Brooke Capel, who ran with Campus United, won the position of Associated Students president. The results are as follows. Stephen Ho, running with the Isla Vista Party, won the internal vice president position. Maya Morales, who also ran with Isla Vista Party, won the seat for external vice president of statewide affairs. Jake Meyer, running with Isla Vista Party, won for external vice president of local affairs. And Gracia Martinez, who ran independently, won the seat for student advocate general. The Food Bank, Department of Worms, Educational Opportunity Program, Finance Board, Isla Vista Arts, AS Program Board, Queer Commission, and United States Student Association were all approved for reaffirmation, winning the majority of votes. The big bill that was on the table during this election season was the voting for the new Sen. The final results received an overwhelming vote of 81.69% no. To find out more information about these results and who won the off-campus senator positions, you can visit the Daily Nexus's website. That's all for this week's news. Now let's go to Kalisha with sports.
Hey Gauchos, it's Kalisha with your weekly sports update. The baseball team lost 2 games out of a 3-game series against UC Davis with scores of 3-4, 3-5, and with a winning score of 5-1 for the final game. They also beat USC 8-5. Our men's volleyball team fell to Cal State Northridge 1-3 in the final game of the season. The women's tennis team swept Cal State Northridge and Cal Poly with a score of 4-0 for both matches. The men's tennis team also swept Cal Poly with a final score of 7-0. The softball team lost all 3 games of their series against Long Beach State with scores of 3-5, 2-10, and 1-4. Coming up this week, the golf team heads to the Big West Championship. The baseball team takes on CSU Bakersfield and Cal State Northridge. And finally, the softball team plays UC Riverside. Head to ucsbgauchos.com for more information. Now back to you, Celie.
That's all for this week, Gauchos. Thanks for tuning in. You can find our weekly episodes posted on the Associated Students YouTube channel, on our UCSB TV Facebook page, and on Gaucho Space. Hope to see you next week.